Hello, my name is Jessica. I love backpacking and I love Dave Ramsey. He's going to help me get out of debt so I can hike the Appalachian Trail. It's going to take a few years, but I welcome you to join me for the ride. So today I want to go over my budget and exactly how I do it. I'm not a spreadsheet kind of person. It seems like homework to me, so I actually started off with pen and paper. That seems to be the best course of action for me. However, I just took a look at Baby Step Brad's tutorial on how to make a budget in Google Sheets. He made it seem so easy. It's like that guy's a teacher or something. He made it seem so easy it didn't feel like homework. In fact, I really got into it. Now, me personally, I like to have just a simple budget as you can possibly have. I like things clean. I like things neat. I don't exactly do every dollar or every cent as some people do. For me, it just turns me off. I don't like it. And honestly, if I forced myself to make it every single cent or every single dollar, I'd probably get turned off really quickly and not even want to do it at all anymore. I do a paycheck to paycheck budget because I was used to living a paycheck to paycheck life. That just kind of works for me. I always knew when my bills were coming out of what paycheck, and I just continued that over onto my budget. The difference is I actually have a budget now and I allot myself certain chunks of money to live off of. Whereas before, I would pay all my bills and then I'd say oh, I have $300 to do whatever I want to do with. And you know what ends up happening is that you spend $200, then you spend $300, and you don't have another 5 days until you're getting paid again. So then what do? You get out the credit card, you get out this credit card, and you're like, oh, I'll pay it off the next time I get paid. That never happens. So that's kind of how I got into trouble. But I'm going to do a paycheck to paycheck budget, and because we are at the end of January, that means that this paycheck that I just got is going to be my paycheck number 1 leading into February. So we'll go over that. Let's have a look at my budget. So on January 25th, 2019, just a few days ago, I got paid $1,600. This is my paycheck 1, and kind of like how I said earlier is that it's my first paycheck leading into February, so I technically just call it paycheck 1 because it's the money that I have at the beginning of the month. So I have 3 little columns. I have a no budge column, a budge column, and a sinking fund column. Now my rent, so thanks to Baby Step Brad, all of these actually do something when I type something in. So right now, there's no amount in any of them. So right here, the $1,600 I put right down here because that's my total of my paycheck. Now, when I start adding numbers into all of these little categories, it's going to total up. It'll add all of these totals on the bottom box and put it right there. And what it's going to do is it's going to subtract that amount from $1,600, and whatever is left into this box is the payment that I'm going to make towards debt. So let's go. Let's get into this really quickly. So my rent is about $745, and I won't really know that until probably February 1st. But it's never been over $745, and it's kind of just around that amount. I don't know. So Netflix, even though Netflix is in the no budge category, I can technically get rid of that if I really want to, but it's like my salvation. I just cannot do it right now. But I keep it in the no budge category because it's automatically withdrawn from my account. So I just kind of leave it right there because there's nothing I can do about it. I can't pay $6 towards it. I can't pay $8 towards it. It just automatically takes $12 out of my account. My therapy copay, guys, mental health. Take care of that mental health, y'all. My copay for my therapy is $25, and I go every 2 weeks. Car insurance is $98, and my internet bill is $66. Now, all of that is going to be taken out of my paycheck before my next paycheck, paycheck number 2, which is going to be on the 7th of February, I believe. So as you can see, it totals all these numbers right down here. So right now I've got $946 getting taken out, and I could put $654 to debt, but I need to live. So that's where we go to the budge category right here. Now, the reason I call it budge is because I can adjust these numbers, you know, I'm not fixed on them. But I have found out what works for me. $60 is enough to get me to and from work and a couple other places for 2 weeks. Groceries, this ranges between $80 to $100. I'm going to keep it $100 for the next 2 weeks. Dana, my dog, oh, I love her so much. She's laying somewhere. Oh, she's right there. She gets $40, and her budget kind of rolls over. And I'll go over that in a little bit. Backpacking used to get $25. I've noticed I spend a little bit more money lately, so I'm upping that to $40. Fun, I upped that to $60. That was usually at $30 or $50. And that's basically because I had a birthday party to go to, and I wanted to have a little fun. So I upped that to $60. Miscellaneous, now miscellaneous is just those tiny things that you just really don't think about. Honestly, if I'm going to be completely honest, it sometimes pays for my fun. So if I'm, for instance, going to go out and spend $63 instead of $60, it'll come out of the miscellaneous fund. The birthday party that I just mentioned, I had to buy a card, and I used the miscellaneous fund to just buy a birthday card. Household, $20. And basically that's like, I don't know, cleaning stuff, toilet paper, toothpaste, things like that. That's basically what I spend, is maybe $20. The last one in this category is car maintenance, and I put $40 to that every single paycheck, and that kind of just adds, and that's for oil changes, tires, maintenance, anything that comes up, and that kind of goes into a separate bank account. And then let's go over to sinking funds. Right now, I only have one sinking fund, and that is for a new apartment. Oh gosh, I got to get out of this place, guys. So I'm putting down $150 into that so far. So what you'll see here is like you got $946 plus $380 plus $150 equals $1,476. And that is subtracted from $1,600. That means I have $124 to make to debt. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's something, right? That's basically what happens. So right now, that is going to sit in my account until the day before I get paid again. And the reason that I do that is because a lot of things could happen. You know, unexpected spending. Maybe I go over my grocery budget because there's some like crazy sale. Maybe I lose some money, like I drop it on the ground or something like that. I don't know. I just like to keep that little cushion in my account until the day before I get paid again. So basically my goal right now for the next 2 weeks is to make sure that that 124 stays at 124, that I don't go over budget anywhere. And that's kind of my goal. So this is paycheck number 1. We'll go over paycheck number 2 when I get paid again. But after I do this, I kind of determine like these are my envelopes. These are my cash envelopes, and this is my sinking fund. So this, everything in the no budge is taken out of my Chase checking account. I have 2 checking accounts. I have an account with Chase, and I have an account with Capital One 360. So all of these are being taken out of my Chase checking account, and I kind of just go and check and see when and if they were taken out in the next 2 weeks. But this one, I need to get cash. Now, I'm not going to get $380 of cash out, though, because car maintenance and Dana, I don't really need cash for them right now. She's got plenty of food. My car maintenance actually does need an oil change, but it's going to be more than $40, and I'd rather just use a card. So I'll go over that too really quickly. And my new apartment, that doesn't sit cash with me. That goes over to a checking account. So my Capital One 360 checking account. So basically what I do from now is, let me scroll over a little bit over here. So now I determine how much cash I need to get out. Car maintenance, like I said, this is going to go to my Capital One 360 account, and Dana, her fund is going to go to Capital One 360 along with my new apartment money. So that totals up to $230. So at this point, what I do is I log into Capital One and I say, take $230 out of my checking account, my Chase checking account, and put it in my Capital One 360 account. And then from there, I put it in their sinking funds. So all of this money is $230 going to Capital One. The rest is going to be taken out cash. So like $60 for gas, $100 for grocery, 40, 60, 20, 20. That totals up to $300. So that's like even a bigger bonus because that means I don't have to get down and go into the bank and like be like, hey, I need, 300 or whatever dollars, because I think you're only allowed to withdraw $300. So this works out perfectly for me. So I went to the bank, went to the ATM drive-through, and got out $320 and stuffed my envelopes. And that's what I'm going to live off for the next 2 weeks. So let me know what you think of this. I know it's not like full of like all this colors and stuff like that. I don't include cents. I round up to the nearest dollar. I just like it clean. If I look at my budget like this is something that I can personally work with. If I was like all these colors and all these cents, I would probably lose interest. It would make me feel like I was doing homework. To me, this is easier. I can deal with this. So let me know what you think. If it's too boring for you, oh well. One more thing that I got to go over is the fact that I have a savings account for Dana for backpacking and for car maintenance. So for instance, car maintenance, I don't spend $40 on my car every 2 weeks. That's not what happens. I just kind of throw money into a savings account, and that's going to pay for oil changes, tires, things like that. Now, when I first got started on this, I was putting $40 away. I only had like maybe $80 in there, and I took my car to go get an oil change, and they told me you're going to need tires within the next 2 months. So for the car maintenance, I actually started throwing like $100 into there, and it just became a sinking fund. And I was able to get new tires within the 2 months. So now basically I don't need anything done to my car. Like I said, I need an oil change, and it's going to be more than $40. So I'm just going to transfer $40 and put it in an account. Now what happens is like I have a savings account in Capital One 360, and I have a checking account. So I have actually multiple savings accounts. I have one for the new apartment. I got a sinking fund for that. I had a car maintenance. I got Dana. I got backpacking. I got my emergency fund. Now, over here in Capital One 360, I have a checking account as well. And that usually holds like a zero balance. And it's because I only use that when I need to get into my savings accounts. So for instance, my oil change, right? So my sinking fund or my savings fund for my car maintenance probably has about $500 in it total. And I just put $40 more into it right now when I transferred it over. So when I go to get my oil change, I'm just going to ask him like, hey, how much is this going to cost? And he's going to tell me like, oh, it's going to cost like $84 or whatever. So then I get on my phone and I say, hey, Capital One, send $80 from my car maintenance savings account to my Capital One 360 checking account, and it does it instantly. So then all I got to do is pull out my Capital One 360 checking account, and when it's time to pay, I just swipe it, and that's it. Life's easy. The same thing with Dana. So she's got $40 going into her account, but I think right now she has close to $200 in her account. So she has plenty of food. She's not going to need any food. But if we go and she wants, if we go somewhere and she wants to get a treat, or if she's just kind of being a good dog and I want to get her a toy, we'll go to like PetSmart, we'll go to a store, and I'll kind of figure out the total. Oh, if I want to get her a new toy, it's going to be like $15. So I'll just basically, like I said, go on my phone, say, hey, Capital One, take $15 out of Dana's savings account and put it into my Capital One 360 checking account. And then I just go up to the register, swipe it, and that's it. It's super duper easy. I love that kind of method. And I'll go over in a different video of like how that all works. Capital One 360 does have its pros and cons, but overall I enjoy it. It's working for me. The same thing with backpacking. That's essentially what I do. So yeah, pretty easy. Let me know what you guys think, if this is something that works for you, or if you do something totally different. I'm up to like, suggestions on how to make this easier. Like I said, right now, this works for me so well. I also have it in pen and paper format. And that's basically what I do. I stare at that all the time, try and make sure I double check the math and make sure everything's good. This Google Sheet thing does the math for me, which is even better. But this is really cool, guys. This is what works for me. You got to find out what works for you. Honestly, everybody's different. Like getting these numbers. Now, the no budge was easy because that's just like what gets taken out of your checking account all the time. Those are essentially your bills. But the budge category, that took a while to kind of figure out. That kind of like was me taking notes, trying to figure out how to get this budget. Now, this took several months to try and get those numbers, and I'm still adjusting. I'm not 100% on my grocery fund like ever. Sometimes I'm like 80, sometimes I'm 60. I've never really went over, but here's the thing. When I first started doing this, my grocery budget, this thing right here, was $200 for every 2 weeks. That meant I was spending $400 a month on just me. Like, that's a lot of money. When I was realizing that I can buy like name brand stuff and still have like $60 left over, I realized like my grocery budget is way too much. And honestly, I could probably get it down to 60 every 2 weeks, but I just haven't. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like I said, it's a work in progress. Do what works best for you. You got to test this stuff out. And yeah, just let me know what you think of my spreadsheet. I'm really proud of it. Thank you so much, Brad. This is so cool. So I got this one online that I can access whenever I want. And I got my paper one right here. So I don't know. I just love budgeting. Big nerd now. And if you're just starting out and all of this seems really daunting, it'll eventually feel like a game. And you'll feel like, hey, you know what? I'm pretty smart. I can figure this out. And you'll have confidence and it'll just grow and grow and grow. And then you'll start thinking of like tips and tricks to like kind of help yourself. At least that's what happened to me. Like you'll really get into your budget. And for some reason, it just becomes a whole lot of fun. So good luck, guys. Thank you for watching, and hit like, hit subscribe, and tell your friends to come over. I'll show them how to do budget. No problem. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.